again out there in podcast land. This is the Common Constitutionalist coming to you once again with the Common Constitutionalist Weekly Podcast. And today, I'm going to try and keep it short. I've had a relapse of walking death, or I don't even know what they call it, some sort of upper respiratory nonsense. For somebody who doesn't get sick, I'm not a good patient, and I'm not handling this very well. So anyway, I'm going to try and keep this short. Who knows? Sometimes I think in my head, we're just going to do a quick 15 or 20 minute, and the sucker runs 25, 30 minutes before I know it, because I drone on. But hey, what the heck? This is my podcast. I suppose I could do what I want within reason. So today I'm going to talk about this thing with FBI Director James Comey and the new emails and the new investigation and all that other nonsense. We'll get into that a little bit. And the other topic is it's closer to home. I know I've gotten emails and I've talked to friends of mine that listen to podcasts and read my articles, and what Rush says, they're the stick to the issues crowd. And stick to the national issues, because that's what everybody wants to hear about, is national issues. But this is about my local school department, of which my son is a high school student, my youngest, and he is enrolled in a local high school here, and we just got a letter. So I'll explain that, and actually I guess it does kind of dovetail into national issues. And that, and I hope nothing else comes up today on the Common Constitutionalist.
You're listening to the Common Constitutionalist, broadcast from an undisclosed location, free from the prying eyes of establishment black-colored members.
All right, let's roll with this thing, shall we? This is everywhere, literally everywhere, and people are wondering what the bloody crap's going on with FBI Director Comey, the investigation, the not investigation, indictment, no indictment, who knows? All we do know is that, according to, nuts, rats, I was doing so well for so many weeks. I have no attribution for this thing that I printed out. It could be the Daily Mail, it could be the Telegraph, it could be IBD, it could be the New York Sun, it could be, who knows, Western journalism, I don't even know. But at any rate, this is the bottom line. FBI Director James Comey sent a memo to Bureau staffers explaining that he notified Congress about its reopened investigation into Hillary Clinton's private email server because of its political sensitivity. And somehow, gee, I wonder why or how, somehow the internal, and this is an internal memo, this was not for public consumption as far as we know. Now, who knows who leaked this thing, but somehow Fox News, Trump News got a hold of this thing. Gee, I wonder how that happened. I don't know. I assume that whoever leaked this thing to Fox News knew that they would run with this sucker, whereas if it was CNN or MSNBC or NBC or PBS or CBS or ABC or EIEIO, they would do their best to at least postpone this thing, although it was done on a Friday, and we know about Friday is document dump day. So anyway, it cracks me up. Fox News got a hold of this sucker, and basically the internal memo states to all, and this is Comey writing to FBI staffers, to the Bureau itself. This morning I sent a letter to Congress in connection with the Secretary Clinton email investigation. Thought it wasn't an investigation. Yesterday, that would have been Thursday, I believe, the investigative team briefed me on their recommendation with respect to seeking access to emails that have recently been found in an unrelated case. What was that unrelated case? Ah, yes, Carlos Danger's sexting sexting scandal with the 15-year-old girly girl. I mean, this sounds like, I don't, I'm going, here we go, off on a tangent again. But doesn't this sound strangely familiar? Does the name Kenneth Starr strike a familiar note? Well, it did to me as soon as I saw that they recently found something in an unrelated case. This sounds exactly like how Kenneth Starr ended up getting Clinton on a perjury charge regarding the Monica Lewinsky thing. He wasn't originally investigating that. It just, one thing led to another. Clinton was asked under oath. He perjured himself for the Monica Lewinsky thing, and that's how he got himself into trouble. So another Clinton maybe going downtown, maybe going down for a completely unrelated case regarding another doggy do. First it was Billy Bob the dog, and now it's Anthony Weiner the doggy. All right, sorry for the digression. Let's continue. Because those emails appear to be pertinent to our investigation, I agreed that we should take appropriate steps to obtain and review them. Yeah, sure you did. We'll get to that in a second. Of course, we don't ordinarily tell Congress about ongoing investigations, but here I feel an obligation to do so, given that I testified repeatedly in recent months that our investigation was completed. Yes, I hear in translation. Here I thought I and the Justice Department and Obama and everybody else involved could sweep this sucker under the rug, but darn if it didn't pop out as little. Well, I'm just I'm gonna leave that sucker alone. It didn't pop up and bite him. We'll just leave it at that. I'm gonna continue. I also think that it would be misleading to the American people were we not to supplement the record. At the same time, however, given that we don't know the significance of this newly discovered collection of emails, I don't want to create a misleading impression. Really? Okay, well, guess what? I don't know if it's misleading or not, but you sure have created an impression there, Pally. In trying to strike that balance in a brief letter and in the middle of an election season, in the middle, there's freaking like a week left, 10 days left, whatever, there is significant risk of being misunderstood, but I wanted you to hear directly from me about it. Well, there you go. And this sucker has got everybody up in an uproar, it's not just this. It's the letter that he penned to the congressional committee that has got Hillary and her folks all up in an uproar. I mean, they're in a freaking panic about this thing because evidently nobody has clue what's on this. Nobody has any idea. And so this could implicate Hillary. It could probably won't implicate any more Obama, who's already been implicated. And he should be investigated, too, for lying and using a pseudonym, right? A pseudonym, illegally emailing back and forth to Hillary on a private server, away from the public eye or away from public view. That's an investigatable and possibly, well, in my opinion, indictable offense. So they're all dirty as crap. But we'll say that all remains to be seen. But getting back to this. So whomever wrote this piece, and sorry about that, maybe I'll remember it sometime here along the line. They write that following Friday's revelation, Clinton's campaign was outraged and implied that Comey's intervention could be politically tinged because, in Clinton's words, the letter was only sent to the Republican members of the House. We have not been contacted by anyone, she complained. I don't know if you are under investigation. Does the FBI actually have to tell you you're under investigation before investigating you? Is that what happens? If you're a crook and you did something illegal and the FBI is going to investigate, do they have to call you and let you know, oh, by the way, we think you're a criminal and we're going to investigate you? It's kind of like when the Democrats, they want to pull out of a hot zone, they want to pull out of a war zone, and they announce the exact date and time that they're going to pull out. Well, you don't do that. And I don't think the FBI is under any obligation, nor should they, let the perp, so to speak, know that they're being investigated before they even start the investigation. I mean, who does that? But, of course, Queen Hillary thinks she's above the law, and she's right so far. She is above the law so far. So what's up with this whole thing? I guess that's what everybody wants to know. Why? Why now? What's going on here? There are a couple of ways to look at this. First off, Comey has gotten a lot of heat. He's gotten a lot of heat. I guarantee you he's gotten a lot of heat from staffers and from agents within the Bureau that felt that they were stabbed in the back by him ending the original investigation, that he swept it under the rug, and he was in cahoots with Loretta Lynch and Bill Clinton and Obama and every other dirtbag up on the Hill. And so that's one line of thinking. And another is one that Glenn Beck was speaking to a couple of guys on Friday, I guess it was, and one of them was an ex-military investigation. I don't know if he was special ops investigator or whatever, but he was like a spy guy, for want of a better term. And their conjecture or their guess probably was, and it looks to be legitimate, is that they think that the FBI agents that were stabbed in the back by Comey are actually, they're so angry about that they had Hillary cold, dead to rights, and that Comey put the kibosh on it, that they have gotten their own attorneys and have developed they put together their own dossier, as it were, and we're going to go public with this if Comey didn't do something. So Comey had to reopen this investigation one way or the other to save his own you-know-what, and possibly to stop whatever they've got from coming out. I don't know. I'm not sure. This is all conjecture. This is all guessing. But to me, it sounds perfectly reasonable that I guarantee you that these guys that were on the ground, they were in the fight, for want of a better term, doing this investigation, doing the legwork. They were out there busting their hump, getting it done. They bring this stuff to the director, and he basically says, thanks, but no thanks, nothing to see here. So I don't know. I don't know how this is going to pan out. All I know is that from the anger that has shown on Hillary and probably Uma and everybody else in her campaign, Podesta and all these other dirtballs, this is probably for real, yo. And I don't know if it's one of these things where we on the right start say, yay, we start getting our hopes up once again. Yeah, justice will prevail, and then we get the freaking rug pulled out from under us again. I don't know how this is going to pan out. All I know is this is. I don't know if you would do. I don't know if it's too convenient or it just had to happen prior to the election because the agents were going to come forward anyway. I don't know who was pushing the buttons on this thing, but I don't think this was Comey's doing. So we'll see how this all shakes out, and we'll see if it has any bearing on the election, if it sways people's votes and whatnot. I don't care if Satan himself, actually, she is Satan herself, but at any rate, if her older brother Satan was running on the other ticket, I wouldn't vote for Hillary. I don't care if someone held a gun to my head and said you're going to vote for Hillary. I wouldn't do it. She's that much of a bag of poo. So on that note, shall we take a break? Yeah, we shall.
You're listening to The Common Constitutionalist. Let the truth be known.
All right, so welcome back, and like my new intermission voiceover, I'm trying to put lipstick on a pig, so to speak. Yeah, I'm really classing it up. That's the ticket, baby. All right, on to the next topic, which I hope will be short, but who knows? I'll drone on about this nonsense too. Let's get to it, shall we? So, as I explained in the intro, I have a high school student, and we recently, in our school district, we recently got a new director or superintendent of schools, and he's Dr. So-and-so, superintendent of schools, doctor of education. And he drafted a letter to all the parents, and I received an email the other day, and, well, I made the mistake of opening it. But that was my first mistake, and then I read it. That was my second mistake. Now, okay, so here's basically the bottom line. He starts with, and this is leading up to something, so bear with me here. Dear blank school district families, this has been an exciting and motivating start to my tenure as superintendent of blank school district. As you can imagine, there are many people to meet and places to go in order to familiarize myself with the city and our schools. I've already witnessed many wonderful examples of teaching and learning at every level. Yep. From your youngest children in elementary school to your high school seniors who are preparing to graduate next June. God willing, and the creek don't rise. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say that. That was me. He's a good doctor. He wouldn't say such a thing. So he says that I view my role not only as a leader, but a support to the team of administrators, teachers, staff, and families across the district to help every student succeed. We want every child to be a priority. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's a fabulous goal. It's a laudable goal. Hooray for him. He wants every child. Everybody wants every child to succeed. But and I know he's got to say that, but I mean, give me a freaking break. He wants every student to succeed, and he wants every child to be a priority. Well, you can't make every child a priority. You can't make anything a priority. There are priorities and there are secondary issues. So, whatever. But that's just, I guess, semantics, whatever. He ends, it's a bunch of, doctoral educational gibberish, and then he ends with, you will have the opportunity to meet me and ask questions, as well as offer any suggestions at monthly coffee and conversation gatherings we will be scheduling soon. So he's going to have coffee clatches. He's going to drink some coffee, and we're going to discuss things. It's really fabulous. Okay, so where does this lead up to? Like I said, I made the mistake of opening this thing, and this was an attachment, but in the body of the email, there was something that struck me immediately to my absolute outrage and disappointment. This is an American school. It's in the Northeast, and it's in what we used to think a relatively conservative state, a relatively conservative city. Used to be. That's a hot one. And a relatively normal place to bring up your kids, so to speak. And so I opened the body of this letter. It said that he has an attached introduction letter as the new school superintendent, and underneath it are 2, 4, 6, 7 choices of letters you can open, and they're all written in different freaking languages. This is my point. They're all 6 other languages. There's English, and that English isn't even on the top. It's in alphabetical order. There is Arabic, Bosnian, English, French, Nepali. Nepali? What the frick? Spanish and Vietnamese? There's a Vietnamese family letter. Are you freaking kidding me? So this was my outrage. It's not the letter itself. The letter is full of the liberal, nonsensical, educational, public school jargon, which is what you would expect from a doctorate of education in a public school environment. A bunch of freaking nonsense about making every child a priority. Give me a break. But it's just the fact that I live in it's a small city. Heck, in places like California, New York, or whatever, Towns are bigger than my cities by a stretch. I mean, I don't know what the classification is necessarily. I know what it is in New Hampshire, but I don't know what it is in California. How big you have to be to go from a town to a city, I don't know. Nor do I much care. All I know is that I opened this thing, and I am all kinds of peed off, man. This is the problem with public education. This is the problem with this freaking country, is that the fact that we're completely separated. We haven't been a melting pot for I don't know how long. We're a freaking patchwork quilt, and the patchworks don't even mesh together. They're completely segregated. Arabic, Bosnian, Nepali. I mean, give me a break. You got a Vietnamese letter. And that's the problem with this thing. And so you go back to, what was he saying here? You will have the opportunity to meet me and ask questions. Well, unless he's freaking multilingual, he's going to need a translator for everybody who asks him a dang question. This ticks me off to no end. And that's one of the number one problems in this country, and one of the number one problems with public education and all education in this freaking country, is the fact that we've got to pander to all these. If you're a legal immigrant, that's fine and dandy. That's terrific. You did it the right way. Hallelujah and congratulations. But when you get here, you better freaking well learn English, because you're not going to survive for very long. As I've said a number of times, English is not just spoken in America. English is the international language of commerce and business. We do, at my day job, for want of a better term, we do business with other countries. And I can call somebody in Central or South America, and I can get somebody who speaks English. Why? Because it's the international language of business. And if you can't speak English, you're screwed. Unless, of course, you're going to stay in your own hovel or your own shanty town or neighborhood and only speak, Spanish or Arabic or Vietnamese, and you're never going to leave unless to go to the Middle East or back to Vietnam or something like that to visit friends and relatives. But you're never going to survive outside that environment unless you speak English. And so this is it just rips me to no end. I can't believe it. And in the state of New Hampshire, give me a freaking break. Other than that, I got nothing strong to say about it. So on that happy freaking note, we're going to say goodbye, and I'm out. See you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Common Constitutionalist Weekly Podcast.